Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions, and if you haven't seen my videos or know it before, you can stick around to the end to find out what that title is all about. I'm going to bring you a special 5D message. But first, we're going to get to this particular video, Voice of Baceprot, Killing in the Name. I know they are a rock band. I have enjoyed them in the past. So here we go. Okay, I don't know what she's saying. I know something about, I don't even know. So kind of put it in the notes here and let me know what she's saying. Something about horses and doses, but it could be the accent. I'm totally probably wrong on that. Could be the accent. So let me know what she's saying. About torture, I heard. Killing in the name and then something about torture. So that's very interesting. By the way, on a totally different point, what I want you to do, guys, is to comment for me today. Comment for me. What do you think is good and beautiful about your body? We're trying to focus on the good. You'll see why that applies when we get to the message, okay? What do you think is good and beautiful about your body? But let's continue. I'm going to look this up for a second and see what is the words. So hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, then. Okay, so wait a minute. So I just came back to it and started up again. But yes, I saw a little bit about what the words are. So we'll talk about that later. Here we go. So that basically those who work forces are the ones that wear crosses. I think maybe they mean force work. I don't know, force you to work. But clearly she's saying there's a hypocrisy out there. This is what we're hearing. And killing in the name, probably in the name of God, I would imagine. So there's a hypocrisy out there. So, by the way, don't forget, I have some new membership tiers, friends. So check them out, and you can see if there's any of those 3 different tiers of the different things that I do on them that might be of interest. And I'll be able to bring you a lot more of the ones you request, by the way, in the tiers, because there's some things about the YouTube algorithm here for my main channel that makes it tough sometimes. But let's continue. Do what they told ya. Do what they told ya. Do what they told ya. So better do what they told you. So you're getting told. Yep. Do what they told ya. I'm just thinking about how you can't help but move to the beat. It's like doing, 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 banging at you, right? I mean, I know that's some serious drum playing. Let's go back and hear that again. Shift, wasn't it? Huh? It just stopped. It just changed the whole thing. Let's go back a little bit on that. See, I like this because it's a little bit more, you know, bluesy or jazzy or something. Not sure how YouTube is going to take this one on my channel with that language. Oh my goodness. They certainly played their hearts in or out, or whatever you want to say. Oh my. Whew. Okay then. Wow. That was interesting. Now, okay. You know, rock has always historically been a sort of a rebellion against the establishment. And that's what I totally hear in this song. It's a rebellion against the establishment. It's pointing out some of the problems, you know, in society, such as, killing in the name of whatever you kill in the name of Christianity or whatever, or Muslim, killing in the name. They're killing in the name also. But seems like religions across the board kill in the name, right? So it's rebelling against them, and it's rebelling against the fact that you are supposed to do what you're told. Especially in a lot of societies that have a sort of a communist type bent, you're supposed to do what you're told. But it still shows up even in the free USA in a way that's not necessarily like It's more of a peer pressure type thing here over here in the USA. I don't know where you guys would be watching from, but it's not like, you're going to get repercussions generally, although it was going the wrong way in the past 4 years with the other president. But generally, you won't won't lose a job or this kind of thing for not doing what society demands of you, but you get a pressure on you. Okay. So that's what they're rebelling against. And then they're saying, F you, I'm not going to do what you say over and over again. So it's a kind of, rock itself has always been a little bit rebellious, a little bit angry, kind of a lot bit angry, I'd have to say, actually. It's kind of, and I'd say this about music, like music addresses all the parts of the human being, right? So different kinds of music address different parts of the human being. So, opera addresses the uplifted part of the human being. Jazz, the kind of like cool and sexy part of the human being. Rock, like rock and roll, the fun, silly part of the human being. And this is addressing the angry, rebellious part of the human being. And I would say to usually youngish, a less mature aspect of the human being, because it's kind of like a kid having a temper tantrum. Right? It's like that. That's a little bit this particular song, and some rock songs in general. I liked them a lot more when I was young and a rebellious teenager myself. Because I think they appeal to that young rebellious teenager in us. And sometimes we grow away from that as we grow up. Although some of us keep it. Sometimes we hang on to it. It depends on who we are. But so there's a little sort of a it's trying to bring attention to what doesn't work, but there's also a little bit of a childish kind of immaturity with the FU kind of thing and all that. So that's kind of my assessment of the song. They certainly did it extremely well, as rock is done with their instruments and everything like that. Just really spot on. They're very good instrumentalists. But if you wanted to put it on my scale, like one being very third dimensional, fear, pain, sadness, anger, there's a lot of anger in there. And there's a lot of, childish, rebellious teenager in there, let's just face the fact, right? And then 10 being love, peace, joy, unity, oneness, harmony. I mean, they'd like to have that. I mean, you could tell that they'd like to have that, like they'd like to get to that. But it's kind of like the energy they're sending out is the exact opposite of that. So it's hard to get to anything that's of a higher energy if you're sending out a low vibrational energy. So with that in mind, that's, by the way, why I asked you that question earlier. We're going to try to send out a higher vibrational energy, right, around this certain topic, which is coming up, by the way, in my message. But as far as this 1 to 10 scale, sending out that low vibrational energy, although it would like to make a difference and have to move us into a higher. So I'm going to go with like a 5.5 on this one, as far as how much it pulls you toward the fifth dimension. Now, as far as if you want to qualify it as how well done it is as a rock song, I mean, I'm sure you'd come a lot higher, That's another story. That's not what I do. So, so this is it's a very interesting band, and I do like that they're taking on some difficult problems in the world, at least to have their say about it, right? That's important. You need to have your say, and you need to not be suppressed and not be able to speak your truth. So that's important. Okay, so let's get, by the way, if you want to know a little bit about me, you can go to the About Me video here on this channel, and that'll lead you to a longer video about what I call my Forged in the Fire of third dimensional reality, Forged in the Fire journey, which was tricky, but it taught me a lot. So that's important. It really helped me as a human being. But then also, if you want to know about the things I've created, you can go to the About Lorelei link here on Patreon and check that out and see what might be of interest to you. So that's that. And let me get to my message. This is why I wanted you to put this in the comments. How does mainstream medicine keep us sick? How does mainstream medicine keep us sick? That's my message. And why this really relates to the fifth dimensional, third dimensional consciousness is that the energy of being sick and constantly sick and all these different sicknesses is keeping us stuck here in third dimension. It's not pulling us to the fifth dimension. So we have to be in perfect, beautiful, wonderful health to be able to make that transition to the fifth dimension. There might be little tiny minor things wrong with us to be able to get to that, but for the most part, we have to be in that wonderful health. And now, as personal growth person, I also know that what you put out into the universe comes back to you, and that's why I want you to put that comment about what you love about your body. what do I love about my body? I kind of like my face. I do like my hair. I like my hands. I do think I'm kind of cute. There's a lot that I like about myself. And I like the fact that my body heals itself and I can cause it to heal itself of anything. And I've healed many, many, many things naturally. So I love that about my body. And what do you love about your body? So that's how we start this conversation off a little bit. And so now we're going to talk about mainstream media and how that keeps us sick. Because they're not saying to us all the time. If you talk just purely from a mindset stance, mainstream media is not saying, oh, you're so wonderful and you're so healthy and you're so beautiful, mainstream medicine. And you know what? You have such a gorgeous body and it can heal naturally. They're not saying that, right? None of them are saying that. As a matter of fact, when I go on the shows I like to watch at the particular age I am, plus my mother likes different shows, these shows are probably for an older population, if you will. And every single commercial on there is about what's wrong with you. What are you sick from? What about your Medicare? What if you fall down the stairs? And they scare you. What if you get this sickness? What if you get that sickness? Over and over and over again. And they scare you with some of these, like that one where the woman falls down the stairs, and that's how they get you to buy their stupid beeper little thing. I'd rather dispense with the with that commercial that scares the heck out of a person, right? That's terrible. It's a terrible energy to be sending out to the world. It's like there's no ethics whatsoever, and they show you commercial after commercial. This drug, take this drug, take that drug, take this drug. Just a message constantly over and over again about you must be sick. At your age, you probably are really, really sick. And here's all the ways you're probably sick. And probably if you weren't sick from some of these things, if we drop this in your head, you're gonna get sick. And guess what? That's a good way to make their money. Like, I don't think there's any accident by them just throwing commercials at us all the time of how sick we are. I don't think they're so stupid as not to know the power of the human mind. I mean, we all know that anymore, right? I mean, we've all seen The Secret, and we've read the books about, manifestation, and we've gone to personal growth and development, and we've even just read our Bible and our holy books where it said the mind is so powerful. And people talk about the power of the mind and the power of the words that come out of your mouth and the power of subliminal messaging, right? We know about this. We're not stupid anymore. We know about it. So you guys sending out those commercials, you know about it too, and you're doing it because you make money off of it. So that's one just little minute way that mainstream medicine is doing it. See, they make money off of making you think that you're sick and you're gonna stay sick and get even more sick. They make money. Isn't that horrific when you think of it? They just send out those commercials just to make sure you think you're sick and more and more sick, because they're not stupid. Okay? Right? Now, so that's one thing. Okay, then you say, okay, maybe I have this thing wrong with me. I seem to have this thing wrong with me, right? And you trot over to the doctor because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And you sit in the doctor and he looks at the thing and oh, well, I don't quite know what you have actually, but let me do this whole barrage of tests because we'll find something. If we just do all this testing, we'll definitely find something that's wrong with you. Now, they don't say to you, oh, you're having a problem with your throat. Well, I would say first step would be to see a naturalist and see what the naturalist can do with you. And if the problem persists, then we'll do some more testing, whatever. Okay, no, they don't do that. They absolutely don't tell you that you could, in any way, shape, or form, ever heal yourself naturally. Okay, so they told this to me when I had some kind of like issue where my throat was like getting a little enlarged here in the thyroid glands. And, oh, you have Hashimoto's thyroid, and we're going to have to set you up on a regimen, and we're going to do all kinds of tests, and we're probably going to have to take some of that out. I said, oh, no, thank you very much. I appreciate your telling me. And now I went home and did what I know to do to heal that, and that's been about 5 years. There was nothing really wrong there. You see? But if they had started me on that trek of what they wanted to do, they would have had it out of me and then suddenly had me on a drug. Of course, they would have had me on a thyroid drug, okay? So, same thing with my teeth, right? Now, by the way, I'm talking about stuff that I put in Patreon page. The link is in the notes. I have a course online. It's a video course. You do it at your own pace. It's called Detox the VAX and Heal Anything, with an emphasis on heal anything. It's for healing anything. So I tell you that I'm just telling you the things I know how to heal, and I do heal. And if that's of interest to you, you can go check that out too. It's just, kind of came up here as we're talking about this. So then they said to me, oh, they did x-rays. Heaven forbid they ever x-ray anything, because you're going to try to put you in a track, right? They're going to try to rip something out of your body. Or anytime they do any CAT scan or x-ray or anything, yes, I understand if you have a broken arm or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when they want to do all this barrage of testing so that they can just take it to the next level. That's just the way mainstream medicine thinks. They never ever think about healing something naturally. So I said, well, as I was in there getting my teeth cleaned, yeah, this has been sensitive here, and I can't drink things too hot or too cold, and I'm getting some pain. And that was about maybe 6 to 7 months ago, and they did an x-ray. They're like, oh yeah, we got to rip that out. We got to rip that tooth out. Oh, I don't think so. Not quite yet. So I started on my solfeggio frequencies, okay? And now I was playing them every night, and just letting them play in the background of my life. They don't have to be very loud. And guess what? No more pain. I have zero pain. So I have zero sensitivity to the cold. I can drink cold water now again, like I couldn't before. So I'm telling you, they will always and forever put you down a path for a drug or rip something out of your body. So what happens then? So now let's say that, for instance, let's just go down this rabbit hole. Let's say that I said to them, oh yeah, go ahead and rip out my thyroid or part of my thyroid, which they did to my dad, by the way, which gave him constant problems the whole rest of his life. The thyroid, by the way, just so you know, is the most susceptible to all the crap in our environment, in our bodies, nobody ever said, well, stop eating foods that are not organic. Stop ingesting the pesticides. Stop using the chemicals for cleaning. Stop using the chemicals on your to wash your clothes. Stop, they said stop using chemicals for skincare. They never, ever said that. First thing they say, rip out that thing. And thyroid is the one that's most susceptible. So let's say I had done that. Okay, they took out either all or part of my thyroid. Let's pretend that had happened. Now what would happen? They would put me on a thyroid pill for the rest of my born days. Now, because that system is not working so well, and because the thyroid pill is not anywhere near as good as what the body does itself and how it does it, when it does it, of course, at some point, something else is going to go wrong. Or maybe that very thyroid pill that they're giving me is going to cause something else to go wrong. So now I got another problem. Now I trot into the doctor. Oh, you got a problem with that? Let's decide here whether we want to rip it out or give you a pill. And maybe let's say they give you a pill. But there's this whole string of side effects on that pill, right? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you start having side effects from that pill. And now what happens? You trot back over to the doctor. Oh, I'm getting headaches and my stomach is upset a lot. Oh, you got a problem with your stomach? Let's see what we got there. And now they're going to decide whether to rip out something or whether to give you another pill, which will, of course, then cause another problem to have you either rip out or get a pill, which will, of course, cause another problem to have you either rip out or get a pill. And pretty soon, you're a shell of the human being that you were before. Literally a shell. And I have family members walking around like this. Do you know what I'm talking about? You must know what I'm talking about, right? But yet, if you look at the lion's share of all of the problems we have with our health, and I've done a lot of research on this, and all of the things that are springing up and springing up and springing up, almost all of them have to do with something you put in your body, or you were, what is the word for it? It came into contact with somehow. Okay? You're exposed to it. I'm not talking about a sickness. Like you're exposed to chemicals or radiation or pesticides or et cetera. All that stuff, okay? It's almost always it's not even a sickness. Let's really face it as it is. It's not even a sickness. We are being poisoned. Literally poisoned over and over and over again in our water, in our food, in the chemicals we use for cleaning, in the stuff we use for skincare, in just about anything that comes near us, we are being poisoned. So, but what do the doctors do? They don't say take the poison out. They don't never say that. They never say clean the poison out of your body. Oh no. Because guess why? What actually keeps the entire thing going? What keeps the entire medical profession going? The doctors, the nurses, the drug companies, the hospitals, everyone in the hospital who's working there, the one who works in the cafeteria, all of the doctors out in their little offices and all of their staff and everything. What keeps the entire thing going? If you said me being sick, that's about right. The more sick we can all be, the more that entire thing gets to flourish and thrive. That's kind of sick, isn't it? Now you see, I would so much rather all of those people, and they're probably all good people, by the way. Let's not say most of them are good people. They want to help people. They want to be in an industry where they help people. But wouldn't I be so much happier if they would just transition all of those doctors and nurses and everything else, just transition them all over to natural healing? Right? Unless there's something extreme, then we'll deal with, the other stuff. But for the most part, get them all over to the natural healing. And we could come in and they can, prescribe herbs for us. They can give us a massage. They can do some Reiki. They can do some chiropractic. They can give us a meditation, solfeggio frequencies. They can have just as many offices as you have out there. It's fine. But do it all for us to be healthy. And have the entire system thrive for us to be healthy. And we will go in there. We'll happily go in there to stay healthy. We'll be happily going in there to stay healthy, wouldn't we? I would go in there like every week. If you tell me I can never get sick again, I'll just have to go in there to the chiropractor every week, I'll go. And the medication, if the insurance pays for it, especially, we got to get the insurance over to pay for this, right? I will go. Because I love that stuff anyway, I feel good when I come out of that chiropractor, the massage, you get a massage. Really, have them become massage therapists, This would be a beautiful shift for humanity. And I do think it's coming, and I do expect it. I hope most of them can just easily transition over to something that supports the health and wellness of humanity instead of the opposite way around. Now, I will tell you, too, there is some really pretty marvelous things coming out that do involve, like, the highest levels of natural healing. We have this wave watch, by the way, that we use that heals the body by frequency. Again, healing through frequency. And my mom and I both wear that. She wears it some, I wear it some. And then what you have to look forward to is this thing called a quantum healing medbed, like quantum healing technology, and for short they call it medbed. And this thing, literally, you're going to get in it like some kind of CAT scan or something. It kind of looks like that, but you're going to get in it and it's going to heal every bit of your body. How about that? Like to perfection. Now, I'm not sure how long it takes. I don't know if you have to go in there several times over a certain course of time or whatnot, or if you stay in there for several hours. I don't know, but I do know that will heal everything in the entire body. And that's something to look for. Now, this has been, people know about this out in the world. People in my sphere, multis of millions of people know about this. And in fact, it's been referenced by the president of the United States about how coming very soon there will be no more sickness. Now, he has said that in his first term. That's a pretty strange thing to say if you don't know about something extraordinary like this. So have heart, be excited, it's coming. So, okay, beloved ones, I'm going to send you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the perfect health in every way, the pristine body, the one that you envision as your most perfect body. It's coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.